Hello, Internet, and welcome to another react on this channel. We will react to the Silent Hill 2 remake trailer, or the newest trailer. One second, let me step aside for a moment. The official release date trailer on the channel GameSpot. Um, this view is actually some kind of cute. Um, um, but yeah, I must say, I managed actually to not see anything so far about the remake. No trailer, no anything. Because of course I didn't want to spoiler myself. But I'm also a bit anxious for multiple reasons. The thing is, I play the original. I think, except with the exception of one or two Silent Hill games, I actually played all the original parts. Um, I didn't play Book of Memories or Shadows. The PS Vita part, and the arcade one. Except for those two, and also Silent Hill Alchemilla Hospital. This is also a game I didn't play. But except for those three, I played actually every original Silent Hill part. And although the second part isn't my favorite, actually, um, um, it is one of the most controversial ones, in my opinion. Um, I don't like it. It is not that I don't like it because it is controversial. I think horror games have to be at some point have to be controversial to some degree and point. Um, because horror games are to make the player feel uncomfortable at to some degree, uh, and and gets those adrenaline running and all that. Um, but and I'm gonna say it, um, horror games have, or to be a horror game, you don't have to show any gore themes or anything. It is a thing of atmosphere, mood, and story. Um, and like I said, I'm gonna say it. Outlast is not a horror game in my opinion, because it is simply to disgust the player and shock the player. And it's simply blood and gore and all over the place. Um, but depending on what we will see in this trailer, I will go into it a bit more at the end of the video. And why I'm a bit anxious and timid around the Silent Hill 2 remake. Um, um, it is because every Silent Hill um, shows itself different according to the suppressed traumas, phobias, suppressed into the thoughts and other negative feelings of the visitor. Um, so the Silent Hill. The Silent Hill in the second part shows and symbolizes and metaphors the suppressed feelings, traumas, phobias, and intrusive thoughts and other negative things of James Sunderland. And the biggest part of that is actually that one over violence. The second last one. It is a big thing in Silent Hill 2, or the Silent Hill of James Sunderland. And and there's a scene in the second in Silent Hill 2, not so far away from the beginning actually of the game, which points in a direction that James has also thoughts about non-consensual stuff. And this scene was a big thing, also back there already. And I don't know if they will put it into the remake, because it is such a serious and harsh thing in the game, and topic overall. And simply because there's it is, with those themes, it is such a goddamn fine line to cross. And it is so goddamn difficult to put it into a game in a way which makes context sense for the game, and what the game should bring across and symbolize and all that. And of course the neighbors have to mow their lawn now. And I hope you don't hear it, at least not so bad. I do hope so. And but I don't want to, I'm talking already for 7 minutes straight, and I'm excited, I'm anxious to press play, but simply go right in, let us go into it and talk about all that at the end. Maybe I'm too timid now.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost. I'm looking for Silent Hill.
I think you should stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it?
Is it dangerous?
Maybe.
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going either way.
No, you shouldn't be here. I'll be good, I promise. Tell him I'll be good, please. No, please.
So I have, like with Elden Ring, I have so many thoughts right now. But let me tell you, I'm really excited now for the game, and I have so goddamn high hopes now for the game. Of course, like the disclaimer says, there is, of course, blood and gore in it, and of course Silent Hill was heavily inspired on body horror, which of course brings blood and gore along with it. But the mood was there. It has a really suspense mood and atmosphere, and I don't want to spoil I don't want to go in so heavy into spoilers or anything, but the last sentence in the trailer, where was it? Somewhere here.
No, please.
This has so much impact for the story of Silent Hill 2 actually, and the plot and all. And I hope so much that they will give the other side, or yeah, in this game a bit more light, because of course Silent Hill was always about the protagonist and all these negative feelings, like I said already. But there was there was a question in Silent Hill 2 which was never answered. And I have the feeling that this sentence in the trailer actually answers this question maybe now finally. And the woman we saw in the trailer, I always forget her name. I couldn't keep it in mind when even when I play the original. I'm goddamn bad with names. And the problem there is she was a so goddamn side character in this game. And my roommate said once that all you see in a trailer is there for a reason. And I think that's a good thought for trailers. And if we go along with that sentence for a moment, it could point into a direction that this woman could be another, how could I say it, a force, you could say, in James' decisions he makes in Silent Hill. And what I also have to praise is, of course I won't spoiler anything here, because there are maybe people among you who don't know the story of Silent Hill 2 and its lore and all that. So I don't want to take anything away from the original experience. But when you know her story and her lore, you definitely, I think she was presented now more real, and not so oddly weird, and she was so goddamn unlikable in the original. And now she seems like really like a person, which has gone through some serious heavy shit. Um, and 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 has suffered a lot. And I'm happy about that, because she is a very tragic character, even for Silent Hill. And what I also liked was, and I really have to get into Reacts, because I imagine now that I could have shown her. And where was the other thing? Not that thing, the other thing. Was it here? No. Here, somewhere here was it. This thing. This is actually a really interesting thing in Silent Hill. It is more relevant in Silent Hill 3 actually. I also did know its name at some point actually, but I forgot it. It was something angelic sounding. And this thing is a big thing in Silent Hill 3. So I find it interesting that they put it now into Silent Hill 2 because the screech from it and James passing out from it and all that. It was simply a siren so far in the Silent Hill games. I also think, I can be wrong here, that this thing appeared in Silent Hill 3 for the first time, actually. And I have to say, this thing, again, I'm thinking about how to put it without spoiling anything. Because I will definitely play Silent Hill on this channel in the future. Silent Hill 2 maybe, I will wait maybe with that and wait to until I have a PS5 and can play the remake. Of course I will, I guess I would give the remake then a shot and not the original. And but I can make a different thing in a moment, but let me tell you about this thing, because I think now I have a good way to put it without spoiling anything. It is a creature which has the task to ensure the arrival of the god of Silent Hill's cult. And so I think it is interesting that they decided to put it into Silent Hill 2 because the god's arrival doesn't play a role in the original story in Silent Hill 2. But who knows, maybe it does mean this cult will have a bigger role in Silent Hill 2, in the remake now. Which could be interesting actually. I have so many scenarios in my head which could come along with that take. But I want to show you, because I think it is important, what I meant with she is so more relatable now.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I was just...
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost. I'm looking for Silent Hill.
I think you should stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it?
Is it dangerous?
Maybe.
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not.
So, and now, let me do a little jump cut. I will show you the original scene, actually. So, and Angela was her name. Now we know it.
Excuse me,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No,
was
it's
just...
okay. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm kind of lost.
Lost?
Yeah. I'm looking for Silent Hill. Is this the right way?
Yeah. It's hard to see with this fog, but there's only the one road. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
But
Yes?
I think you'd better stay away. This, this town, there's something wrong with it. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Is it dangerous?
maybe. And it's not just the fog either.
Okay,
It's...
I got it. I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I really don't care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going to town either way.
But why?
I'm looking for... someone.
Well, who is it?
Someone... very important to me. I'd do anything if I could be with her again.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either. I'm sorry. It's not your
No,
problem.
I hope you find them.
Yeah, you too.
So, yeah, of course it was now a bit extended, but I think you know now what I mean with she seems simply odd. And of course I pay attention to more detail because I do know her lore. And it doesn't make any sense that she closes in on James again and again during the conversation. Of course, there is a point where they are on a good distance to each other, but most of the time she steps closer to him and all that, or he comes closer and she doesn't shy away. And 1 second, I will swap to the trailer again. So, she is here on a good distance to James, and at this point,
Excuse me.
she already raises her hands to keep him away from her and goes multiple steps back. And of course we don't know the whole scene. It is only some moments of the scene which will be in the game. But she seems tense the whole time. She has her shoulders up. She holds her hands in front of her. And all that. And
I'm sorry. I
of
was
course,
just...
It's okay. I didn't mean to scare you.
she excuses herself
I'm
like in
kinda
the
lost.
original.
I'm looking for Silent Hill.
should stay away.
But look
This
how
town,
far,
there's something...
look how far away she is from him at this point. Of course, she has not, she hasn't her arms up anymore and all that. But again, we don't know the whole scene. It can differ from what will be in the game. But from what we saw in the game, or from the scene now here, she never turns her back towards James. And stays away from him. And the way she talks and all that seems anxious, of course, and timid and shy. But not so weird. I had my first impression back then was that she struggles with some kind of language barrier, because she says in the original, like this town. This is like I talk when I can't come up with the right word at some point. And of course there's more stuff to her which makes her really weird and odd in the original. And I have high hopes now that she could be the tragic character finally, which she actually is, and maybe like the opposite force to Mary. I don't know if James' wife was called Mary or Maria, and the other person Mary or Maria. But I don't mean James' wife, but the other person he meets. And I hope at this moment that she could be the opposite force from her, maybe, and all that. I'm talking much longer than I than I thought right now about this one trailer. But Silent Hill is really dear to me, and I always struggled a bit with the second part because it was controversial, yes, but it was weird. And now to the Outlast, but this will be such a goddamn long video. I'm sorry. Of course, we thought there will be blood and gore and all that. And according to the trailer, they made they achieved the line between simply gore and disgust and shocking and all that, and simply being an element of the game. I said earlier that Outlast is not a horror game in my opinion, and I will stick to that. Because it is where Silent Hill has its body horror and of course also blood and gore, it is, like I said, an element of the game and not the focus of the game, and not simply in your face, close up all the time. I don't judge anybody who likes gore, so you do you. And like Silent Hill shows, it can be a good part of a decent horror game. But Outlast simply throws blood and guts and skin parts and body limby thingies simply into the camera all the time, close up, and it is simply to shock and disgust the player. Nothing more, in my opinion. It is simply over the top again and again and again and again and again, without really focusing on the other stuff. I mean, I watched the Let's Play of Outlast over at Gronk. But yeah, it was take a gasoline can full of blood and then throw it right into the camera and whapan. And Silent Hill was never that. And it is a thing I really adore and appreciate on Silent Hill, that they made it to still focus on the lore and lore depth and depth of story, with taking body horror and blood and gore into it, and other goddamn serious and cool topics, and that without disgusting and shocking the player all the time, and yeah, and make his stomach turn. So yeah, this is a much longer react than I thought, and I will stop talking now. Let us talk about further in the comments. How do you think about those things I mentioned and all that? And yeah, I hope you liked it. See you next time. Bye!